Good evening. I'd like to call the September 2nd City of Monmouth Council meeting to order. If you'll please rise and join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We could have a roll call for attendance, please.
Alderman Teal.
Here.
Alderman Bone.
Here.
Alderman Weber is absent. Alderman Dodd.
Here.
Alderman Connor.
Here.
Alderman Pineda.
Here.
Alderman Ferry.
Here.
Alderman Van Fleet.
Here.
Roll call complete.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion for approval of the August 18th City Council meeting minutes as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any amendments or corrections to be made to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Teal.
Yes.
Bone.
Yes.
Dodd.
Yes.
Connor.
Yes.
Pineda.
Yes.
Ferry.
Yes.
Van Fleet.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Under presentations or citizen inquiries, does anyone wish to address council this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on. Chief, I believe you have a couple of three things for the agenda.
Sure. First tonight, why don't you come up, then? We have an award to issue here to Doug Dotson. It is a civilian commendation award. I'm going to read you a little background into the incident this occurred from, okay? The Monmouth Fire Department recently responded to an incident to assist the Warren County Sheriff's Department and the Central Warren Fire Protection District with an extrication. The incident involved a piece of machinery in which a person was trapped between the movable parts of the machine and the machine itself. When MFD arrived, the situation was continuing to worsen as the movable parts continued to close tighter around the person. Throughout the process of extricating the person from the machine, Doug Dotson provided essential information to our firefighters about the operation of the machine and how the machine would function while it was off. This critical information allowed MFD to remove the person from the machinery faster, which directly contributed to reducing the injuries. Doug was nominated for this award by Assistant Chief Spears, who is the officer in charge of the extrication. Following the extrication, Spears stated that without the information that was provided by Doug, this extrication would have taken much longer, and the outcome, I believe, would have been much worse. So on behalf of the Monmouth Fire Department, we want to thank Doug Dotson for his actions and the information he provided that made such an impact at the situation that could have been much worse. So Doug, we want to issue you a commendation award certificate. We really appreciate all your help with the incident. Thank you very much. On to the next thing. Okay. We recently have hired two new firefighters to our department, Lucas Potter and Skylar Melton. They just started this past Monday, and will be working with us towards the end of the week. Until next week, they'll be starting their initial training at the IFSI Academy. So we ask that they come up and be sworn in, please.
Where do we stand? I don't know.
You guys come on up here.
So we'll start with Lucas. You? Repeat after me. I, Lucas Potter,
I, Lucas Potter,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of firefighter
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of firefighter
for the City of Monmouth Fire Department to the best of my abilities.
for the City of Monmouth Fire Department to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. That's up to you. You can do it now or you can
Yeah, we'll
wait.
go ahead and do Skylar, and then we'll do them both.
All right. I, Skylar Milton,
I, Skylar Melton,
do solemnly swear
do
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of firefighter
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of a firefighter
for the City of Monmouth Fire Department to the best of my ability.
for the City of Monmouth Fire Department to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sign a few things over here.
Yep, so this here is down here, signed, there's 2 copies, top copy is for your records. Congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. Moving on in our agenda, we have one item on the consent agenda, and that's approval of the bills. I have a motion and a second. Are there any items to be removed for further discussion or consideration? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Vaughn?
Yeah.
Dodd? Connor? Pineda? Barry?
Yes.
Van Fleet?
Yes.
Teal?
Yep.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Next, under Committee of the Whole, we have Building and Zoning, August report, Director Clark.
Mayor, Council, the zoning department continues to issue permits, notices for junk and debris, rental inspections, unsafe structures, and follow up on all open projects to include daily citizens' concerns. Notice of ordinance violations and citations, you can see them listed. Junk and debris and mow notices were a little heavy this last month, but it seems to be getting cleaned up. Completed projects was the Trojan Storage LLC for on 1112 East Jackson Avenue. That's the same site where a couple winters ago the building collapsed from a snow overload. Open projects, OS Holy Family Hospital Project 2502. It was a renovation conversion of old surgery room to a computed tomography CT scan room. It still continues finishing some of the finer things inside. And then Monmouth College is still working on the renovation at 815 East Broadway. And then OSF Holy Family Hospital Project 2503, they've started the renovation of a rehab room for a sleep lab study. Additional room for that. And then the renovation of the former Bankers Life building, West First Avenue. They were supposed to start the windows this week. They've already got them in place, so they should be moving forward with that yet this week on windows there. But once they get done there, they'll be moving here to City Hall to do the windows here as well. And then the Whisker Wash is winding down now. They're about ready to come online here before long. That used to be a site years ago of cleaners that was out there, and it was a perfect location, perfect size to fit the bill for what they need, and gives us another lot with something on it. And then the Strong Communities Program grant with 3 houses were awarded by council to a local contractor. As of this morning, 416 East Franklin Avenue is in a backfill grade mode. They're almost done with that project there. And then 120 East 9th should be completely loaded out by mid-morning tomorrow. That one will be gone. And then they'll be moving to 1001 South 2nd Street to remove the house there. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the Woodard and Kern Annual Report. Director Bledsoe, I think we have some guests in the audience as well from Woodard and Kern.
Mayor and Council, so this is our annual report on contract year 12 for the Woodard and Kern operations and management contract that you guys have with us for Public Works. But before I get started, I'd like to have these 3 gentlemen come up and introduce themselves and maybe talk a little bit about what they do, if you can.
Good evening. My name is Mark Thomas. I'm the National Operations Leader for Woodard and Kern. Want to say thank you very much for having us here tonight for the opportunity to present the annual report. Several clients getting the opportunity to share the annual reports isn't necessarily something that they particularly care for, but for us, it's part of our service, both the challenges, the accomplishments we've had, and what we're looking forward to for the coming years. So thank you for the opportunity. A little backdrop on me. This was actually one of my first projects right out of college in 1992. I was here land applying residuals way back when out of your lagoons, working for Bob Munson and helping land apply on the surrounding farm fields. So Monmouth has been a long-term project for myself, and again, over the years, have appreciated the opportunity to service the city of Monmouth and the residents that live here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
I think most of you know me, Greg Frieden, area manager here, supporting Braden. I don't need to tell you my backstory. I was born and raised in Mama, so grew up here and have been a part of the community off and on over the years and have family here. So, but anytime you guys need anything, I'm his area manager, directly supporting him. Try to get here all the time, but again, echo Mark, thank you for all the opportunities you guys give us to help support you guys. So. Dave.
Good evening. My name is Dave Kitzmiller. I'm the operations leader for the Western region, supporting Greg and Braden, and I feel like I should have went first because I have to apologize. I don't have a direct tie to Monmouth. But I am very happy to be able to support Monmouth. I've been with Woodard and Kern now for 7 years, and I do, although I can't say I was directly involved in Monmouth going back many, many years, with Andy and Mark, I have been with the same company and been to meetings here and supported a bunch of different things in Monmouth. But just wanted to say thank you, and we appreciate the partnership and all the support of the city.
Thank you for being here, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. And again, just to add on to the thanks before I get started, thank you guys for your trust you've put into me. I know things have changed quite a bit since Andy left, and we had Richard for a little bit. But again, I want to say thank you for working with me so far, and I look forward for the years to come. So obviously, talking about personnel, we've had some pretty serious changes in terms of the Director of Public Works, and now with our water superintendent position, Richard Nelson is officially retired, and we've actually hired a Brian Glasgow to take his position as water superintendent. He actually worked for the city through Woodard and Kern or through another vendor for about 20 years, from 2000 to about 2020. He was with the city for a long time, worked in the water department, left water department here in Monmouth, went and worked at some smaller communities, got his licenses, did some management experience, and now he's coming back to lead our water operations. So it's really exciting to have him on. I think he's going to be a very positive addition, and I'm sure he'll meet all you guys in due time. So beyond the personnel, the top priority of Woodard and Kern, especially here in Monmouth, is our health and safety training and making sure everybody gets home safe at the end of the day. We have routine trainings every month. Every day we have toolbox talks, but some of the big ones that we hit on in that contract year, of course, was our confined space entry and our fall protection training. These are just, again, to make sure when our guys are getting in tight situations, they make it home safely at the end of the day. Beyond that, just to kind of give you an overview, we're Curran here for the Public Works Department. We operate a lot like a public department. We handle the wastewater treatment, the water treatment, as well as the distribution and collection systems for those departments. Beyond that, and as I'm sure you guys are all aware, street departments underneath the Woodard and Kern contract, so we handle the snow removal, we handle trees in the right-of-way, sidewalks, patching the roads, things like that. And when I was thinking about this before I came up and spoke to you guys, when I first got signed on here, it was a little bit different to me that Woodard and Kern ran the billing department for the city, because to me, I just would have never thought about it. But now that I got here and I'm kind of out of the public sector into the private, but working for the public, the girls up there do a wonderful job. They're very influential in the city and make a huge difference, as I'm going to go into in the next slides. But it's something that kind of can be overseen at times, but we do manage that as well. The final part of it, and this is more my job working with the mayor and Lou and other contractors, even Woodard Kern's consulting side, is our capital project management. At times, I'll be assigned, Woodard Kern in general, will be assigned to help out on some of these larger capital projects, and I do think that's a pretty important part of our scope of work. Kind of going into the money side of it, for fiscal year 24 to 25, the total revenue that the city collected through the billing department was approximately $8,265,000. That revenue has been averaging about a 4% growth per year over the past 10 years. So we're seeing a pretty steady growth in that, which is great to help keep things funded. As for the Woodard Kern side, the actual operations budget for our contract year 12, our final cost for the contract year met our budgeted amount. So we came right on budget. At the beginning of the contract year, after speaking with Andy at the time and things like that, we were a little bit worried. We had a lot of storms in the beginning of the year, had a lot of tree removal costs, had a lot of overtime, and at the end of the year we got pretty lucky with how we budgeted, as well as having a relatively light winter. So it all worked out pretty well by the end of the contract year. When we look at our operations cost trend over the past 10 years, if you remember, seems like about 4% year per year growth for collections through the billing department. Our increase in cost has averaged only 2.7% per year for the Woodard Kern part of Public Works. I think that kind of speaks for itself, how Woodard Kern, I believe, does a good job of maintaining efficiency while still providing excellent services. Kind of going back to our duties on capital projects, we've had a lot of capital work, a lot of construction work going on, as I'm sure everybody's painfully aware of, with all the orange cones around town. Two of the big things we've completed recently, of course, is the West Harlem Water Main Phase 2, which went from G to Sunny Lane. That water main got done by Advanced Plumbing, and that's really good to have out of the way before we finish out the road over there. The other one, big one, UV disinfection out at the wastewater plant. This is a state mandated project. We got that one done and it's up and functioning. Right now under construction, of course, we got the downtown streetscape. We've got lead service line replacement phase 1 is going on. It's actually going to wrap up here shortly, probably within a month. And then West Harlem road reconstruction phase 1 is going on right now too. In design, just some of the highlights of what we've got is our phase 3 CSO transport sewer, which we've talked about a few times, out at the old wastewater plant here in town. We've got our West Harlem water treatment plant, which we're currently working on getting the design and getting some costs in for that. West Harlem road reconstruction phase 2, which will be from G to Sunny Lane, and then our USDA downtown sewer, which will be down here on South Main, running all the way over to East Broadway. So as a part of all that, Woodard and Kern does not only just provide through this contract the operations services of the Public Works Department. We've got a lot of value-added services. A part of this is our engineering team. Samantha Wiedenbender, which I think she's been up here before and talked to you guys, she's our project manager. And there's some days where I call her 2 or 3 times a day to get her advice on random topics, or Dawn Tall, who's been up here many times. And for the most part, those come free of charge. I'm able to call them if we have questions. They're willing to help me out, help us out with paperwork, especially with EPA compliance things. And beyond that, kind of part of her team, another part of it is the funding team for grant assistance. That's something that the city utilizes a lot, and I think we've leveraged a lot of money out of that funding team. The best management practices is something that, going into this, I guess, being hired by Woodard Curran, I didn't see the value in it. But as I've gotten time here and some seniority, knowing that we have this, like these guys here, we have this network of professionals from all over the country that I'm able to pick up the phone and call for advice at any time on how to solve an issue from small to large is a huge asset for us to have, and that's just part of that value-added services. Then the last thing for value-added services, this isn't all-inclusive, but this is the last big one I can think of, is our GIS mapping and our asset management service. This is Utility Cloud. We're able to track everything in town from the water mains to the pumps inside the water plants. We're able to create work orders from this, create maps from this, maintenance schedules, things like that, to make sure that all of our equipment is inventoried and being maintained like it should be, which, again, helps with longevity of equipment and ultimately saves the city money. Kind of diving more into the funding team and the grant assistance, just some examples of how they've helped us out. The Rebuild Illinois grant, we were awarded $2 million for equipment for the West Harlem Water Treatment Plant. The STAG grant was $500,000, which we got for the West Harlem Water Main Phase 2. The State Revolving Loan Fund, SRF, through IEPA, we got $2.5 million for our wastewater UV disinfection. Through a community projects grant for lead service lines, that'll be for Phase 2. We got approximately $1 million for that one. We got $2.7 million through another round of SRF. That's for this first round of lead service line replacements, about $2.7 million for the city through a grant. And then the final one that we're kind of working through right now is our USDA loan and grant program. We're working on applying for that downtown sewer that's going to run from South Main over to East Broadway. So we're hoping we'll find out the terms on that soon if we're awarded it, and we'll be able to bring it to council. Of course, like I kind of mentioned earlier with Sam, a big part of the operations here, as well as all the support staff we have, whether it's engineering or funding or things like that, is our environmental compliance. That always gets people a little bit worried, but I do think with our team that we've got, especially the guys even on the city side, not Woodard Curran, we've got a very good team. So for example, for IEPA, we get help, and we do internally as well. Of course, is our lead service line replacement that we're working on. We got to get those replaced. Getting our disinfection done, the UV disinfection at the wastewater plant. Getting our compost site, the permitting and the compliance for that, which actually Joe McVeigh and I, so Joe McVeigh, our street superintendent, and myself, we handle a lot of that. The chloride remediations that we're working on right now. And then when we go up another level to US EPA, we have a source water protection plan that engineering does for us, as well as the new drinking water lead and copper rule, which we get help with from engineering, but then we implement here on the operations side. So again, I mean, there's a lot of added things that behind the scenes, which is like these guys and their staff and the way they help us. And we've really just got a large team behind us that we should be able to figure out just about anything with the help we've got. That's pretty much what I got for year 12A for you. Again, I want to say thank you for having us. Thank you for being so welcoming as I've come up here as the new guy. Thank you for working with me, and I look forward to many years with myself with you guys, as well as Woodard Curran as a whole with you guys. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions if I can.
Braden?
Yeah.
You guys all expressed appreciating our trust, and I do trust you.
Okay.
That's why you know that. I had two things I was going to ask. Well, I'll just move on to one. First, I want to tell you I appreciate hearing you say safety is your first priority.
Okay.
As a former firefighter, that means a lot to me. So I appreciate you taking care of you guys.
Thank you.
I felt like if I didn't mention this Harlem project tonight, my neighbors were probably gonna lynch me.
Okay.
I do not understand what's going on. I haven't seen anybody out there working.
Yeah.
All they did was come dig up one lane
Mhm.
and then left.
Yeah,
I
so,
see one or two guys out there. Now, we wasted the whole summer. Now we have school traffic
mhm,
coming down the side streets.
Yeah.
And our street's not in the best shape as is.
mhm.
And we got a school bus moving up down the street now. And I don't know who did that project. Frankly, if I saw their name on a bid again, I don't think I'd support it.
Yeah, so the contractor we selected for that project was Brandt Construction. Of course, they were the low bid, which we're required to choose, but, you know, as they got into this project, this is kind of the timeline they sat out in front of them. And I will defend them a little bit, and just to give some clarification, they milled up that entire lane because they were hoping to dig that out, as they have a storm sewer pipe to put in that northern lane, and that runs all the way from the west end of the road pretty much to the east end. They milled that out with hopes of getting to digging and getting that pipe in as soon as possible. And the unfortunate thing is, we ran into a telecom line that was previously undiscovered, and that telecom line, we're waiting for it to get relocated by that private utility. So the guys they're trying right now to fit in as much as they can. I'll be 100% honest with you, I've been calling them just about every day, begging them to get out there, but there's only so much we can push and so much they can do with all the constraints we've got.
The neighbors around there, patience left at the
Mhm.
end of June.
Yeah, yep,
And
And to be clear, Brad, the IMEG is the engineering firm that does the road work,
Mhm.
and they work through IDOT. And IDOT has their engineers and inspectors there as well. Yeah, there's a lot of frustration that, they hit that snag, and, that's put them back at least 2 weeks.
and I will say, as we go forward on that project, there is not, you know, it's not that we're doing nothing. It is a working day project. So as time goes on, they're losing those working days, and eventually they're going to get to a point. Hopefully this doesn't happen, but if time keeps going on, they will eventually run out of working days, which results in fines and that sort of thing. So hopefully we don't reach that point. I don't think we will. They're a very reputable company, but just as an FYI, I guess.
well, I appreciate you explaining that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think maybe the issue of the communication line,
Mhm.
might be something that we wanna let the rest of the public know,
Okay.
that, you know, that's not on any of our folks, that it just wasn't, we didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
getting to be pretty much pain in the butt.
Nope, I understand, and I'll see what I can do about letting the public know about that line. I'd be more than happy
Yeah, I
to.
think it would help.
Okay, nope, I can do that. Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you, Braden.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Sorry, Joe.
Moving on in our agenda, we have the Comcast franchise agreement approval. Markham, this is one that I think comes along every few years.
10 years, yeah. It's for 10 years. It's similar to the one we had prior. It just allows Mediacom to use our right-of-ways, and then we get to collect a tax, a franchise fee, if you will, on everybody's cable bill.
So this is the, what, fourth renewal over their tenure here?
Yeah, third since I've been here, but I think it started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before that, yeah.
I think revenues have fallen because of everybody streams now as opposed to the cable and that sort of thing, so it's become a less of a moneymaker.
Any questions for Markham? I would entertain a motion for renewal of the Comcast franchise agreement.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Daw,
Yes.
Connor,
Yeah.
Pineda,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Van Fleet,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Bone.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Under resolutions, we have a resolution to join Prairie Hills Land Bank and appoint a director. I think we've been working on this for a few months. Lou, if you wouldn't mind talking about it again?
Sure. As the mayor said, there's a resolution to join the Prairie Hills Land Bank Authority on the agenda for your consideration. I would just like to point out a few bullet points to underscore what I think are some of the important considerations as you consider your vote on this. First of all, by joining the Land Bank Authority, City of Monmouth will receive higher priority in receiving future housing grants from the Illinois Housing Development Authority. The Land Bank Authority will also enable the city to intervene with properties in questionable ownership to take control while the home is still salvageable and solid enough for renovation. The city does not have to transfer ownership of vacant lots until deals are negotiated with the Land Bank Authority for redevelopment projects, and those projects are then presented to the City Council for final approval. As a member of the Land Bank Authority, the city will receive priority attention from their staff and legal counsel to develop blighted and vacant properties. And then lastly, I would just note that the city does not lose any of its authority or control in making decisions pertaining to vacant land it owns, or which houses to demolish or repair, and exercises authority over development projects initiated by the Land Bank Authority itself. I would like to point out that Vicki Livingston, who's a director of Prairie Hills, is here tonight, and she's available to answer any questions you might have that I'm unable to respond to. But with that, I would ask for the council's favorable consideration to adopt the resolution.
And I would just add to that, Lou, I think any priority, the city would place any priority, any properties that we're able to intervene with and get control over, it would be to offer those and try to develop and sell those properties to homeowners here in the city before we move them on to anything else. Making those homes available for development of our residents, hopefully for single-family homes, is our first priority. And again, council has ultimate authority over the disposition of any lands that we may or may not acquire. Again, I think it really helps in those ones like we just had where banks have mortgages, maybe the owners have died, heirs don't want to receive it, we have back liens for mowing and back taxes, and banks don't want to be involved in getting the ownership and control is very difficult in those instances, and having extra staff and extra legal staff to assist our folks is, I think, another critical. And as Lou mentioned, the Illinois Housing Development Authority priority, we're working right now with the Western Illinois Regional Council on the housing improvement grant that we received for $400,000, and hopefully those would come around a little faster in this arrangement. Council have any questions?
Are we still at $25,000 for, is it 25 or 75,000?
25,000
For
per
3
year
years.
for 3 years, so total.
It's a
of
3-year
75.
commitment.
And how many municipalities, counties are currently members?
Currently, I believe there are only 3 communities that are members at this time.
Is that accurate? Okay, yes.
It is.
And those are,
Macomb, Carthage, Dallas City,
Correct,
Canton's considering,
correct.
yeah.
I had a conversation with you, Lou, can you step up there, man?
Absolutely.
I talked to Lou about, I'm a little wary on going in for 3 years on a company that just started and has nothing. You guys have just started. We're basically financing you to start your company. I asked him, I would be willing, for me to vote for this, I would be willing, let's see what it does after a year. I'm not willing to lock in for 3 years. I don't know about the rest of the guys, it's up to them, whatever. But I myself am not willing to lock in for 3 years on a startup company that really, you can't show me anything. I read the thing that just came out, that Lude sent out, I read all that. It's the same information we got the first time. It is what it is. I mean, that's my outlook on, I don't know what everybody else is thinking. I mean, I think $75,000 for 3 years and we set on it and we get nothing, there's no return, we're out 75 grand. I could see doing a year. This isn't my money I'm playing with. This is, you know, residents' money. This is tax money. I mean, if there's some way we could do it for a year, we could make some agreement with that, my vote will go yes. But if I'm gonna go 3 years, that's just my statement on it. That's what, I had the same conversation with Lou.
If I could offer some clarification, oops, maybe that's on now. So our company is not new. This is an intergovernmental agreement that would be new. So our organization has existed since the mid-70s, and we have a pretty good track record here in Monmouth for things like our brownfield remediation program. This particular group would be an intergovernmental agreement between all the municipalities who join. And so while technically speaking, it is new, the entities who are a part of this organization have been around for a long time.
So what you're saying is the things that we're already getting, they're already there for free. We've already had these things. The thing you just mentioned that you worked on, we're already getting it.
So that program is limited to commercial or industrial property. Because it is a US EPA grant and those stipulations are set by the federal government, I can't work on residential. And it's my understanding that Monmouth could use some assistance in the residential arena.
Again, is there any, like I said, have we had any talks on, like I said, I'm willing to do a year. I mean, that's me. I mean,
So
I get
right
it,
now,
it is what it is. I mean,
currently I answer to a board. So we have formed enough that we have a board. They have adopted their IGA or their intergovernmental agreement that sets those stipulations, and I would have to defer back to them on whether they're willing to look at reduced membership. The reason that we have set it at 3 years is to give our staff and our legal team the opportunity to work in the legal arena on some of these properties. So to go from start to finish, some properties can take 12 to 18 months, and then making sure that it is disposed of in the way that the city of Monmouth approves of, that requires a decent amount of time. So the request is for 3 months, or I'm sorry, for 3 years. If at the end of 3 years you decide you're not getting anything, of course you can walk away. And really, if you get to the end of the first year and you decide you're not seeing any results, that's up to the council. I can't ask you to stay. I would ask that you give me a 3-year window, but the document stipulates that if you choose to leave, then that is your prerogative and your right to do so.
I think the importance of building a staff and establishing your legal team, I think that's a key piece of it. And I think, you know, your work with us in the Brownsfield grant and the other arenas and the commercial arenas have been very successful, so.
is this the first time you're hearing what I'm telling you? Has this been brought to you yet?
I have heard similar things, maybe not in the exact words
From
that used
here.
this evening, but yes.
From here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's what do we spend on legal fees annually on what they would do?
It would be hard to say, cause I do not break down my, bill by different, arenas, I guess. I mean, I just bill you guys monthly and.
We did go through and try to pinpoint some of those, cause your invoices are
Yeah,
detailed.
I mean, I detail them, yeah.
We would, we estimated or we calculated, based on the last 4 years, average cost would be about $7,800 a year.
78 a year.
I think we ended up demolishing how many thousand last year?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do a fair amount of work in demolition. I don't know if these guys would take that over. I'm not gonna object if they want to, but.
Can I ask you a question? When you go down and look at these houses and you say the foundation, is there another way that we can get second opinions? And I'm not saying that you're not correct, but is there something that don't cost us? I mean, so we're demolishing all these houses, you know, we're tearing all these houses down. I mean, no disrespect when I say on one person's word, right? When we could have other people look at it, maybe, you know, I'll give you an example. The house that's right next to me that my sister owns, 25 years ago, that should have been tore down. We bought it, the house is worth $100,000 now. Right? I mean, and it had a bad foundation, there's all these things. I mean, that's generally why we tear a house down, the foundation's shot. So a lot of companies that can fix it, you know, I'm just saying, instead of tearing some of this stuff down, you know the conversation we had on some other properties
Yeah.
And how that affected, I'm not gonna bring that, but you know what I'm saying, I think you talked about that, or we've had discussion on that.
Our goal is to try to get more houses into, make them available to see if local families can get them rehabbed and have the means and set some criteria for them to look at and go forward. And I think this helps us to do that.
I just had a question on, and I, in principle, I see the advantage of what they can do compared to what our limited staff can do. But there was a couple things in here, when I read the whole document. For example, employee legal and technical experts, other offices, agencies, or employees to be paid from funds of the authority. We're the authority, right?
Yeah, the authority would be revenues collected from the member communities.
Okay.
The land bank has a governing board, which has a member from each member community or county. They collect the fees from this member communities, and they would generate revenues and fees through their own creation through the land bank. The land bank authority then would have the ability, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vicki, to whether it's seek out grants from our environmental consultants, from other specialists and other groups. Please add to.
So the land bank would be staffed by 3 people. So myself, my salary is primarily covered by Prairie Hills RC&D, but there would be 2 additional staffers. So one of them would be focused on grant writing capabilities, and the other would be working on things like code enforcement with Mr. Clark to make sure that we can get to some of these properties before they have to be demoed. The idea here is a regional cooperation so that we can play up regional scale. A lot of communities in our region, as I've been meeting with everyone, suggest that they have a really hard time getting contractors to come in to build affordable properties that their citizens can purchase. And so this idea allows us as a regional entity to be able to contact some of those contractors from larger spaces, more urban groups if necessary, if the contractors in the area don't want to take on the job or can't because they're at capacity. And then we can work together to try to bring in a larger scale housing, particularly infill housing, but through a more regional approach, which would save us in terms of things like permitting, architectural fees, and the like.
You're talking about new housing?
If necessary, if that is what the city needs, if that's what you want, and that's what you approve of me to do. Ultimately, we are providing multiple staff people for the city of Monmouth for less than what one person would cost on an annual basis.
Okay, I still have not heard, I think Lou was getting to it. In the terminology, who is authority?
The authority is the Land Bank Authority Board.
Okay, so the Land Bank Authority, if they hire or engage in contracts with any other entity, they're paying for that.
Yes, it would come out of the collective land bank.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear.
So we're not paying any more than 25,000?
Correct.
Yeah, and the only other thing I had is, the thing I struggle with is, and you know where my priority is. We're spending 25,000 and we still haven't put anything down on the new fire engine yet, so. But I think we have a priority there, but.
If we're looking at if the legal fee estimate is right, we're looking at 52,000 over 3 years, as opposed to 75. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and if that savings can go to where we need.
Well, I mean, we're still paying the 75, it's
Yeah.
just not going
Right.
to our legal counsel, it's going to them.
And you have.
So it's 52,000 of new money over 3 years.
I think you're missing the point though, you're missing that they're getting paid, and Markham's still gonna be doing some stuff, so he's still getting paid too, so it's still going higher than that.
You have a legal staff on that is available and things been involved in this process as well.
So right now,
Specializes.
my legal staff is actually provided primarily by technical assistance through IDA. So he has a grant, he works for me pro bono on the majority of my work for the land bank. The IDA has produced a lot of technical assistance dollars through their grant program for land banks. And so our legal assistants, our regional planner, who you would also have access to, and the individual who would be helping me onboard the property management, they would all be paid for through IDA grant money.
Any other comment? I would entertain a motion for approval of the resolution to join Prairie Hills Land Bank.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Did I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Any other questions? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Connor,
Yes.
Pineda,
Yes.
Barry,
No.
Van Fleet,
No.
Teal,
Yes.
Bone,
No.
and Daw.
Yes.
Only 4.
It's not a,
4 to 3.
it's not an ordinance.
It's not an ordinance, so the
So
majority,
motion carried.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here. Moving on under ordinances, fraudulent identification, Chief.
Mayor, Council, I had several officers approach me asking if we could have an ordinance drawn up for fraudulent identification. Basically, that's someone using someone else's ID card to purchase alcohol or gain entry into something that's age restricted. Right now, it's only covered under state statute, which is a Class A misdemeanor for that violation. And having an ordinance would give the officers at the scene, wherever it may be, whatever the incident is, another opportunity or another avenue of approach to enforcing someone having a fraudulent identification card.
Any questions for Chief?
So what's the advantage
Uh, Like I said, the state statute is a Class A misdemeanor. Anything after that turns into a felony. Most of the people that we're dealing with are college age, high school age students. Accessibility to fraudulent ID cards is more now than it has been in the past. And it gives them another avenue to enforcing this. It's more expedient in some cases where we can just write them an ordinance violation for the offense. We seize that fraudulent or fake ID card versus placing them under arrest for a Class A misdemeanor, taking them to jail, waiting for that process to play out, and then we're not guaranteed that any corrective actions are taken after that.
It's cutting the kids a break, really.
Yeah.
But
Multiple
still, though, if
offenses.
there's a fine,
Well, I mean-
it goes to the city, right?
Yeah, I mean.
An ordinance violation, the fine would go to the city versus anything Class A misdemeanor at the state level is going somewhere else,
Yeah, but part of it gets remitted back to the arresting agency, so.
to an extent. Yes. Was it?
Multiple offenses.
Right now, I would ask that the ordinance be a $300 fine. Multiple offenses, it would be another $300 fine, or if it was the same person on the same offense, we could at that point then move up to the Class A misdemeanor.
So you guys gonna keep and obviously you probably will have a track of who you've caught and given an ordinance violation to, you'll have some kind of record of that.
It'll be documented in our CAD system when an ordinance violation is issued. The officer does a report and it's documented in our system.
Just so you guys know on the council, by the way, you get 2 fake IDs for $40 online. I dealt with it all the time when I worked at Danny's and I had a stack of them that day. But I took them.
Pretty good now.
Can you read that website?
Is there? So I think this is a great idea, right? I think it at the end of the day, honestly, benefits the person that has a fake ID, so they're
Mhm.
not, you know, a class A misdemeanor's not following them around for the rest of their lives, number one. Number two, the fine stays in the city. So with that being said, Chief, what I'd love to see, are there other ways of doing this? Are there other things that we can look at that we can make as city ordinances to benefit not only our community? And I'm not saying that we need to be less stringent on Illinois law, but like, I think there are probably other little things like this that we can do to not only help out our high school or college age kids that make a stupid mistake consciously, but it also then benefits the city. I'm not telling you to answer that right now. I'm just saying, can we take a look at some things and have that conversation of what else can we do here?
Like we did it on cell phones a few years ago, I think right before you were on council, so if somebody gets nailed for talking on their cell phone while they're driving, it's a
Yes.
ordinance violation. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, there's gotta be more. There's gotta be more, and I think it's a great idea.
There are a lot of things out there that we already have ordinances for that we can enforce on the ordinance side versus the state side. The main thing being traffic offenses, cell phone usage, seatbelt usage.
Lewd conduct, lewd conduct's one. If you pull your ordinance ticket out, all of those are also state charges that we've adopted city. So
Yeah.
there are a number of them. This was just one that the chief indicated had become a little more prevalent, and it was his suggestion to bring it before you guys.
Yeah. Because we didn't have an ordinance.
We didn't have the means to do it as an ordinance
Right.
violation, and we will now if you pass this ordinance.
Okay. Any other questions?
All right, thank you.
$40 sounds like a great deal. I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Pineda,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Van Fleet,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Bone,
Yes.
Daw,
Yes.
Connor.
Yeah.
Motion carried.
Thank you. We had on our agenda an ordinance amending section, Schedule 2, Chapter 77, restricted parking. We needed to do some more work on that ordinance, and we will bring that back for your consideration at our next meeting.
Is that the one around the school?
Yes.
Yes. Next, I would entertain a motion per Illinois statute to go into executive session to consider with possible action to follow the sale of city-owned property.
So moved.
Sell it.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Van Fleet,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Bone,
Yeah.
Daw,
Yes.
Connor,
Yeah.
Pineda,
Yes.
Barry.
Yep.
Motion carried.
What are we?
Is there a motion to approve the resolution for the sale of whatever 620? 600 South Main Street. Yeah, 600 South Main.
I would entertain a motion to return to regular session.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Teal,
Yes.
Bone,
Yes.
Weber, oh, he's gone. Daw,
Yes.
Connor,
Yeah.
Pineda,
Yes.
Barry,
Yep.
Van Fleet.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Under other business, I would entertain a motion to approve a resolution for sale of property identified as 600 South Main Street.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Barry,
Yes.
Van Fleet,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Bone,
Yes.
Daw,
Yes.
Connor,
Yes.
Pineda.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. I entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you.